Hey, check this out, man. See this plant right here? It was perfect like about 2 days ago. And I didn't have time to water in the morning, so I watered it around 2 p.m. I think it was like 103 degrees outside. And um, came back 45 minutes later and it looked like that. And so essentially what happened was the water just, it boiled in the pot. It boiled the roots, it boiled the plant, and it just killed it in less than an hour. And so if that story sounds ridiculous, it's because it is. So in este video, we're going to talk about one, the best times, the worst times to water your plant. There is no bad time. We're going to talk about a way to blot out the sun, reduce it, and help keep the soil and the plants cool. We're going to talk about best practices, and I may throw something else in there as well. So let's get it. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about fertilizing too. Greetings from the shade garden. Before we get into these power rankings, what you need to understand is the time that you can consistently stick to is the best time possible. So if you're like, hey, I can only water in the morning every 3 days, I think that may be the best time to water, but you can only do it every 3 days. Your plants are going to die, especially when we're in this heat advisory, heat wave like it is now, personally in Texas. Let's see if I got my graphics department working, but I'm going to throw up the temperature like the next 2 weeks right up there. You kind of see how hot it's going to be, and obviously do the same for your area. Look up your weather because that's what matters the most. So number one, best time to water is in the morning. In the window, like an hour to half hour before sunrise to about 1 to 2 hours later. And why is that? So if you ever run like cross country or track or something like that, your coach has probably said, hey, make sure you eat some pasta the day or the night before the race because you want your body to have that energy, the stuff it needs in order to power yourself through that long race. There's a farmer center for you right there. And so the same thing applies to these plants. But that time before the race is the morning. You want them to have that water in the morning so they be revitalized. They can have all the juice they need in order to power through the day. Simple as that. Number two is in the evening, about 2 to 3 hours before the sun goes down, and the sun has not as hot, right? Because the soil has had time to cool off a little bit. And so after that long day, your plants are beat. They can suck up that water and kind of revitalize themselves before the sun goes down and kind of refurbish their innards during the night, for lack of a better term. Now, you may hear folks say, hey, don't water before sunset because your pots and your plants will get mushrooms and fungus. It does happen. Here's the thing: mushrooms, fungus, they're not necessarily bad. 8 times out of 10, it's going to be fine. You can take a picture of it. You can, do the Google Lens thing. You can post some information to Reddit. Say, hey guys, is this good or bad fungus, mushrooms? And like I said, 8 times, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be all good. And then so the next best time to order, any other time, right? Because there is a Marianas Trench difference between the worst time to water and not watering, and the worst time to water and the best time to water. What you'll kind of see is sometimes you may need to water multiple times a day. If you're already just watering in the morning and you have the ability to work from home or for whatever reason come home and water your plants, you'll probably see during the day they'll start to like wilt and shrivel a little bit, like the leaves are curling. This bad boy, the leaves are curling too much because I left it out in the sun. That's why this fig tree is in my shade garden. So power rankings, morning, evening, and whenever you can get it, but make sure you stay consistent. Now let's talk about my magical way to blot out the sun. Next, what you want to do is to couple all this with a shade cloth. Like with the temperature are in the hundreds or in the high 90s, there's no rain in sight for weeks on end. You got to combat the sun some way. Like I got a hat on that is providing shade to my face. You probably wear hats when it's hot outside as well. You need a shade cloth, something like this. It's falling down, but what it'll do, there's different degrees, but it'll blot out like 20 to 30% I think is best, 30% of the sun. And so your plants still get some sunlight, but it helps them from that unrelenting heat. It helps the plants, the leaves, because the moisture in the leaves, they shrivel up, they die. Your leaves, photosynthesis is where the plants get their power from the sun. And then obviously your soil as well. The cooler the soil is, the longer it can retain moisture, keep the roots cool, etc. So make sure you get yourself a shade cloth. So I want to show you something over here. I got these citrus plants. I'm about to throw a shade cloth over top of these bad boys too, but I want to show you a couple things. So I talked about watering it during when it's during the evening, and sometimes you get like mushrooms and stuff like that. So that's an example right there. It's completely fine. Um, for whatever reason, this pot just gets mushrooms. There seems to be some fungus in there, and it kind of grows every now and then. Even though I don't typically water these in the evening, I typically water them during the day. And even this tropical plant, you can kind of see right here, these leaves are being scorched. I had left it out because I was like, a lemon tree, a mandarin tree right there. They should be able to withstand the Texas sun. But once again, they're in pots, so they need a little bit more TLC than your normal, than if they were normally in the ground. So I'm going to throw a hoodie over top of both of these in order to let them get a reprieve from the hot sun. Here we go. Let's throw these bad boys on. Especially when you see your plants getting their leaf scorched, they need to get a little bit of rehab. And so I'm going to keep these under the shade for a couple of days. The reason the shade was off was because inexplicably yesterday, after like a week of unrelenting heat, it just sort of like drizzled all morning, and it was cloudy all day. And so I was like, oh, let me let these plants get a little bit of natural sunlight. I don't need the shade cloth because the clouds are providing natural shade for my buddies here. And if I just don't have another bamboo stick, or I would just have a bamboo stick to put on top of that because I don't really like putting it directly on the plant. It kind of bends it down and provides undue pressure on the plant. Actually, I know what I'm gonna do. Don't need to be on video, but I'm gonna use one of my stakes from the garden in order to put it over top of that mandarin. Well, I guess I can just speed up this video, so who cares? I'll do it now. If you're gonna do it, dog, then do it now. I am more animal than the zoo allows. Now, the $1 million question, or maybe the $250,000 question, I don't think it's that big of a question, is should you fertilize when it is hot outside? And the answer is sometimes. So, like for your annuals, as you can see down there, they need food in order to flower and do their thing. Like, there's no reason for having annuals if you're not going to see the flowers. I mean, because they are annual, they're going to die anyways, and they're not coming back. So, with your annuals, I'll say yes. With your perennials, I'll say no. And the reason behind that is the fertilizer promotes growth. It makes the leaves grow. It makes all the stuff on top of the plant grow. Pushes out fruit, buds, and things like that. But here's the issue with that. During this time frame, your plants are in survival mode. Like they just want to live. So you really need their energy needs to be going towards their roots, towards the trunk, and just building that healthy body in order to sustain life. You don't want them trying to grow new growth and things like that because that'll actually harm the plant. So I have an example. Let's walk over back to my cucumber plant. You can kind of see it's looking a little rough. That's a combination of the heat. But what I did was my citrus plants, nitrogen, a lot of nitrogen is good for citrus plants. So I have this thing called fish emulsion, which has a lot of nitrogen. And so I had some left over from watering my citrus plants. And I just threw some over here onto these cucumbers. Oh, we probably can't see it on camera. There's a cucumber there, cucumber there. I have a pickling video coming soon. Got a good harvest so far this summer. And so the nitrogen pushed out new growth. And within 48 hours, this thing was flooded with aphids. Aphids are bad guys. If you like, I'll do a video on preventing or killing pests in the garden once they come. But long story short, it pushed out a lot of new growth. Aphids love new growth. They attacked the plant. Had to put together a brew in order to kill the aphids, hit them with water. And I think it hurt the plants a little bit. I look at my garden every day, so it was probably less than 48 hours. So it's probably somewhere between like 12 and maybe 36 because you can't really see the problem until there's a bigger problem because I'm not like all down literally in the weeds like that looking at stuff. And so I didn't notice it until it was flooded with growth there. So yeah, appreciate you watching the video. And as your treat, you get my garden joke of the day. So Why did the tomato blush? Because it saw the salad dressing. All right, so hope you enjoyed that. Remember, the only difference between a beginner and you and an expert is the beginner began. I'm working on that outro. I don't think that flowed correctly, but appreciate you and subscribe or don't. All right.